Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent, and rumors are starting to heat up about a possible settlement between the SEC and Ripple. Now, of course, with like all rumors, we do have to, tread lightly, but they are intensifying and it is being mentioned on numerous sites, and a lot of people have underestimated what has been going on at the moment between this extension that the SEC has been given and all the negotiations that are happening behind the scenes. Now, while negotiations seem to be coming towards a possible settlement, that doesn't mean that the case hasn't been ferocious on either side. So you've got, Ripple asking for documents when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which the SEC still hasn't given. You got SEC saying that Ripple has been hiding things from them. So it has been fast and it has been furious from a litigation perspective, and neither party have backed down in regards to the claims that they've both made. Now, the SEC's own trading policies are likely to show that the SEC did not consider XRP or other digital assets as securities, or that the SEC considered XRP to be substantially similar to other digital assets it has expressly stated are not securities. And this is the critical part here. This case is more than Ripple versus SEC. The case impacts the whole of crypto, and for those of you that have not been following it, I really do encourage you to check it out and to understand just how important this case is to the overall cryptocurrency industry. And I've mentioned since December, I will continue to mention it, and there are two things I look forward to. One of them is this case settling or Ripple winning, and the other one is that a $10 plus price tag in 2021 of Ripple. And I believe, based on my research, that I'm going to get both. And it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I've done the research and I understand what is going on enough to understand that this case is weak, like really weak. And so all that matters is that whether these policies could provide relevant evidence, or whether the individual defendants were objectively reckless, or whether there was a reasonable interpretation of the statute consistent with the individual defendants. So what we're talking about here is that it's really important that if Bitcoin and Ethereum were not classified as securities, why is XRP being picked on? And why are they holding on to these documents so dearly if they got nothing to hide? And so I believe it's only a matter of time. And now I appreciate all the comments that came through yesterday throughout the channel about how you felt about it, about what you think could be happening in a not too distant future. And look, it is a matter of time, and 90% of SEC cases go into settlement, and the ones that do go further into the case, 90% of them go into a settlement before anything serious happens. So weak at best from the SEC, and I do believe that the negotiations and the settlement negotiations happening behind the scenes are being dragged down more from a Ripple perspective than an SEC perspective. I think if SEC got what they wanted, this case would have been settled a long time ago. But for Ripple and for the entire cryptocurrency industry, there is more at play here, and longevity of the entire industry is at stake, and that's how big this really is. And so it's really important to acknowledge that. Now, Ripple does score another win against the SEC as the judge leaves its lobbying efforts under wraps. So what we're talking about here is that the magistrate's judge has denied the US Securities and Exchange Commission requests for documents related to Ripple's lobbying efforts. So the SEC tried to get a hold of them, and the judge has just squashed it. So another one that probably makes it about 7-1 to Ripple at the moment. The SEC did get their extension, so we'll give them a point. But at the moment, we're probably sitting at 7 Ripple and 1 to the SEC, and getting an extension is not really a win, but I'll give it to them anyway. So Bitcoin at the moment versus the US dollar, why it's important. So it has broken out of a pattern that has been sitting in there for quite some time. It has convincingly broken out of it, and that does impact the Ripple price and the price of the entire industry. So great to see that happen. We will look for a confirmation of this, and then once that's locked and loaded, then we are going to be moving Bitcoin into your 45s, your 48s and beyond. So a true welcome back to the bull market, and we have missed you bulls. So although XRP does seem bearish, I like what Crypto Kevin has mentioned here, that the upside and where we're going and where we're about to go, it is in the 9s and 10s and 12s and 13s, and then wave 5 will take us all the way to 120. And it, of course, it is a matter of patience. This isn't a happen overnight. This is not, tomorrow you'll wake up and there'll be $120 XRP. Far from it. But over the course of time, this will happen. And I do mention this because I don't want you to be the guy who bought Bitcoin at $100, sold it at $1,000 and thought you were great, only to find that Bitcoin is now over $40,000. So make sure that you know what you hold. And that's why I put a lot of emphasis on this, because it's quite easy when you look at cryptocurrency in your original fiat, AUD, USD, and you look at it and you're like, wow, like a 10x. Don't look at it that way, because in the not too distant future, your crypto will be the currency. I'll repeat it. The crypto will be the currency and fiat will be obsolete. So make sure you don't, you have a new car and you go sell that new car to buy 2 old cars, if you want to put it into perspective. Over the course of the next couple of days, I do see this sort of movement happening, right? So we're going to move sideways for a little bit, and then we're going to break out of this. And when we break out of this, this is a very, very important frame to break out of. Once it breaks out, it'll probably retest and then it'll shoot off again. So keep an eye out for this sort of formation. So over the next couple of days, don't expect much. Now, at the time, I do want to mention as well that, if you want to put the world's money into perspective, right? This is an old one, this is an old diagram, but I wanted to show you this because all the money is around $83 trillion, right? All the money. So that's everything. But when we look at stock market, how big it is, when we look at physical money, when we look at the gold market cap, when we look at Apple and, all of these, right? I mean, back then, Bitcoin was only 41 billion. And look at now where it is, right? It's between the USD in circulation and Apple. But I want to mention this to you because sometimes, I do get the feedback on the channel that, but Serpent, it's impossible for XRP to hit $10 because the market cap would have to be this much or the market cap would have to be that. There is plenty of money out there in the world, and this tiny $1.4 trillion market cap that currently all of crypto has is nothing compared to all the money. And blockchain will be taking over, and so just keep in mind the bigger picture, because I find that is something that is misunderstood out there in the marketplace. When we look at XRP's Ripple market versus the global transfer market, this is where it gets really, really, really interesting. So you got the XRP one, then you got Western Union, then you got the global non-cash transactions, then you got SWIFT with 5 trillion, then you got the Nostro, Vostro bank accounts with 27 trillion, and where to next? That's the big one. And so at $10 XRP, $100 XRP, even $1,000 XRP in the not too distant future. Now, when I say not too distant future, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years from now, is not out of the question. And I really, if you have never seen this image before, save it, put a screenshot. Next time your friend tells you that, Ripple can't get to $10, just show them this, because there is so much potential and so much more to go. And sometimes I feel that is really, really, really misunderstood. Let's jump into Atani. Let's see from an indicator point of view what they're telling us today. Okay, so we're back inside Atani at the moment, and I'm on a 5-minute chart. And by the way, never look at 5-minute charts. They give you a headache because the market just moves so fast in the 5-minute chart. It just doesn't make any sense. So when we look at the daily at the moment, or where we are from an RSI point of view, we're sitting almost in the oversold. The MACD is sitting on bullish, and from a Bollinger Band point of view, we are sitting at around halfway, right? So it could go either way at the moment, right? It's not a very clear signal that we are moving into a bullish segment. From a 1 hour perspective, it looks like it is coming back into a bullish segment. And from a 4 hour point of view, not really. So it's not really decisive at the moment what's going to happen. And I want to mention this because sometimes indicators will just simply not tell you what you want to see. They won't tell you what you are looking to see out of the charts. You want to see, some very clear patterns, and sometimes you won't. And so as a day trader, these are the times where you just don't do anything because you haven't had a clear signal. But as a long-term holder, it's no problem at all. We just simply hold and we wait and we get a really clear confirmation, whether we're going a little bit lower down and then going up. I do think we're going to trade sideways a little bit. So I think that we will probably end up 79 cents, 80 cents today, and then go backwards and forwards between 86 and 80, and then we will finally get that break and continue to push forward. But let's go into some of the drawings and see what they say. So I do believe that this kind of movement makes sense. So hitting 84, maybe even hitting 78 cents, but I don't really see that too much happening. But I do believe that going towards the 84, 82, and then maybe sitting there around there for another day or two before coming up to 92 and then breaking to 96. I do see that being a very, very very likely to happen. When we look at it from a different perspective, there are some key barriers: 97 cents, $1.05, $1.10, $1.12. They're very important metrics to look into, and so sideways movement for a little bit before we break forward. And once we do break forward though, then this is the likelihood that we're going to go. So we're going to go 90, go sideways for a little bit, and then go $1.02. At the $1.02 mark, the next step from there, after going to the $1.04, is to break out into the $1.20s and beyond. Now, as we push forward, right, nothing has changed. So whether the SEC wants an extra 60 days or not, nothing has changed from my end. You will see a double-digit XRP. And again, it's not financial advice, but you will. In 2021, you will see a double-digit XRP. Then there will be some sideways action, and then we will push forward. And all of this will be coming in the next couple of months, because with the Flare network launching, with the SEC case either settling or winning, everything is getting ready to have this explosion of price in the XRP movement. And remember, the XRP is the last to move, but it's the fastest and the most ferocious to move. So it will be a very, very exciting time. So over the next couple of days, what can we expect? We can expect to see $1.10, retrace back to 90. We're going to push forward towards $1.60, come back down to 120 for one last time, and then go forward into the 180 and beyond. So super exciting. As always, thank you so much for all the passion and love and support that you show the channel. If you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. As always, thank you, and I look forward to see you on the next one.